Right?
We ain't got no women though.
It's like that.
We ain't got no women though.
Kobe.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands.
What up?
I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting older now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind.
Yeah.
To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm going forward.
Okay.
White sand.
That joint knocking a little hard today.
Might stand if it's been done before, then I know I can. I'm on the rise, I'm trying to keep a level head. Yeah. She want my time, she begging me to give me neck.
Okay.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, fellas. Nice and neat. Man, you know, we got a couple of things. Matter of fact, the most important thing that we're celebrating is Women's Month.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
It's Women's Month. Is Women's Month for America or is Women's Month for
The world.
the world, Craig? It's
world.
The world, Craig.
The world.
The
Okay.
world,
Craig.
Well, happy Women's Month to all the women watching in LA, America, across the globe. Like, let's give it up for the women.
sure.
Let's give it up for the women.
Shout out to the women.
I'm glad that we are going to be, I'm glad we're in this month because we all have our women that are in our lives outside of our mothers or sisters, but we have our women,
Incredible women, by the way.
our partners,
Yeah.
our best friends, our confidants, the ones that we lean to, the ones that we lean on, the ones we talk to each other about. Like, we talk to our partners about each other. Like,
Pillow talk.
yeah, we be pillow talking.
I ain't gonna hold you. I be pillow talking about y'all.
I know you be talking. hey, you know what though? So look, fellas, I don't want you guys to ever think that your homeboy do not talk to his girl about you.
For sure.
Please.
Don't ever
be foolish.
think
Don't even
that.
hold that against him.
Nah.
Hey, don't hold it against
nah.
him. That's where you get the pass at, bruh. Because all that is the thoughts that he have in his head already about you. So like, that's hey, I don't think we've ever said that before, but I'm glad we all just know that's what it is.
It's understood.
It's understood.
So they don't gotta be explained.
Hey,
fam.
babe. Hey, this nigga O said. Hey, babe, oh, it's like that.
Yeah, be like,
that.
hey, what was that about?
Hey, between you and me though.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
between you and I.
Hey, don't say nothing.
Between you and I.
Don't say it.
say
And your
nothing.
girl be like,
Who
babe,
will tell?
yeah. Babe,
Who will tell?
are we best friends? Like, yeah, we best friends. Dang. So, obviously, we got a lot of appreciation for our women.
Guaranteed.
And I think this is a good episode to really just kind of like express that. You know, really get that out. And then also speak about how we even got there. You know, that was an entire journey within itself, getting to the space of we feel really comfortable in I'm telling you this, and then you're not going to either judge me or even judge my friends about it. Because that is a whole thing in itself of, yo, can I tell you this about my partner without you judging him? That's the thing. You know, can I tell you this about my sister without you judging her? That's a thing. So, you know, I'm very grateful to have a partner. You know, I'm the last one to the brigade to start my relationship. You know, and you know,
how long you guys been with each other?
bro, we're going on 2 years, bro.
Going on 2 years.
Time flies, doesn't it?
2 years.
Yeah. Going on 2 years, dog. And we've been knowing each other for 5 years, going on 2 years being in a relationship. And it's dope, man. Being able to really explore somebody's mind, you know, emotionally, and just like really, really getting inside the nooks and the crannies of somebody's mental is super dope. It's super, super dope. Like, you think you got a good, close-knit relationship with your friends, and you think you guys could look at each other and really think something. But like when you are with your partner and you guys really are like, yo, this is how they wake up in the morning, this is how they go to sleep at night, this is what their day looks like, you guys connect on a whole different level. And I know you guys both, well, I know for sure, you look at marriage in the face.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you look at marriage in the face, bro. I know you have an appreciation for your woman like no other. And I think this is gonna be a good episode for all of us to really just get that off.
I think so too. I think it's been, we haven't had an episode where we really got to express our level of appreciation, level of gratitude for our women. So I'm excited to dive in and really just talk about what that looks like for us and how we, even, like you said, how we got to this point. So
Why do you think we don't really hear it from people publicly just how much they appreciate their women? What are the reasons? Like, do you think people were like, men are afraid to?
I don't think men are afraid to express that, because I feel like anytime you have a conversation with other men will be happy to express that with you. But publicly,
Correct.
I don't know what's holding them back.
Yeah, I'm talking about publicly, because privately, if you give someone that prompt, they're
They're
gonna
gonna do
to
it.
you.
They're gonna do it, no doubt. Maybe it's maybe for most men, it could almost feel like a sign of weakness by me expressing this level of appreciation for my woman.
Mm-hmm.
That could be one reason. Maybe another reason could be just afraid to express it. Maybe another reason could be don't know how. Don't know how to effectively
that's a big one.
communicate.
I think that's a big one.
I think that, you know,
Most men don't live in their feelings.
you know,
Most of us don't live in our feelings.
I think most men want to be able to be expressive and want to be able to tell people just how they feel about their women, but just don't know
they
how.
just don't know how. They don't have
Yeah.
the tools.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't have the tools, and they haven't taken the time to develop them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think those reasons are
sure.
the reasons why men don't publicly express it. But like I said, we'd be kidding ourselves if we said that men don't express it, because we do.
I got
you know,
you.
and we've been in many rooms and different conversations, various different conversations where we have heard it.
So how do you I guess, what do you appreciate most in your relationship? You know, what does that look like?
That's a good question, Duke. I appreciate a lot of things. I guess the first thing that will come to mind is I appreciate from Candace specifically her ability to recognize when my morale may be low, or I may not be as positive as I seem to be all the time, because I'm human, and sometimes naturally
I know that's hard on you. Like, if you're around you every day and you're not positive, I know that's tough to watch.
Yeah.
For her, I know that's tough to watch.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I appreciate her ability to get me out of those moments.
You think it's easy for her to like insert herself in those situations? Like, because you're so positive, is it easy to identify when something's wrong and for her to just
I think so, because I feel like I'm an extremist too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, I'm really, really excited and happy, and or I'm really upset and frustrated. And so when I am upset and frustrated on the other end of the spectrum, you know, and she doesn't hesitate. And so I don't find it difficult at all for her. You know, I find, to be honest, it's been so instrumental in my growth. And so I appreciate her taking the initiative and being assertive in those moments. So I think it's been pretty easy for her. And I think it probably just leaning to what you're saying about it's got to be hard. Maybe it's probably easy for her because it is hard to see that. You know what I mean? I would imagine.
Easy for her to recognize.
And to insert herself into the situation, you know, just because I am so positive all the time. Yeah. So when it happens, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, shit. And she comes to the rescue, you know what I mean? And she does an awesome job of helping me see the bigger picture or calm down so I could understand and process what I'm feeling. And that's obviously helped me tremendously in whatever situation that I'm, you know, facing.
So when she's helping you, you know, I guess get you back centered.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it more of a tough love type thing, or is she kind of she kind of bring you along gradually?
Yeah, she bring me along gradually. I would say it's more nurturing than anything.
Okay.
It's more like, babe, come here. Let's just talk about it. Like it's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? And you know why you know what else she does a great job of doing? Like, not just like reassuring, but confirming too. Like, so like telling me it's going to be okay and then explaining why it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but you know, I'm human. So for some reason, when I get frustrated and upset, you know, I could lose sight of, you know.
Yeah. That's
You know.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's like, okay, a lot of our stress comes from my girl not going to be okay. You know?
Yeah.
And I think if she comes to it and said, like, she's telling you that it's going to be okay. So you're like, okay, she thinks it's going to be okay. So I don't have to stress about her being uneasy and stuff like that.
That's funny you say that, because I would say majority of the time that is where the stress comes from. Like, yo, is she gonna be okay?
Yeah.
You know,
I can handle this.
I can handle this shit. You know what I mean? But is she? That's very valid. That's a strong point.
Duke, I want to ask you, because you asked, when you're in a space and your girl needs to get you out of that space, does she present it with more of a tough love, or does she present it with more of a space of grace and empathy?
It's always graceful. It's always graceful. Her thing is, I'm so hard on myself. So I've been irritated before because I felt like she wasn't hard enough on me.
No way.
Yeah.
No, I understand what he's saying.
I've been irritated. I'm like, yo, like, that's not helping me right now.
Like,
You know?
Give an example.
Yeah, give an
You know,
example.
so-
give us an example.
Which one do you want to use? Because Duke work a lot.
I think the easiest one would be to because I want everyone to visually and you know, be able to just paint a picture. Like, let's just talk about the gym. Okay, I like to be very regimented on the gym. I like to show up to the gym the time I want. I want to do the workout I'm supposed to be doing. I want to show up and stay disciplined and stay committed to when I say I'm going to do it. Okay. But life happens, work happens, and I'm like, man, I didn't make it to the gym today. All right. And this is a very baseline example, but she'll be like, oh, okay, baby, it's okay. You worked out 4 times already this week. Okay. But I told you I wanted to work out 6 times this week. So hold me accountable to that.
Well, there's still a couple more days.
But I'm just saying though, that be the type of energy sometimes, right? So
I got you.
But she's so graceful all the time. You know what I mean? And I think that it takes me a while to just look back and say, man, like, I just love that for me. You know, I love
I love that.
I love that for me. I love having someone like her that's just always ready to insert herself in and just make me feel more at ease. You know what I'm saying? But it's always graceful.
I asked you guys that question because I feel like there's a common misconception when it comes to black women that black women don't handle black men with care and with empathy when it comes to them being in a more of an emotional space. And I know that I get care and I get empathy when I'm going through something. So I wanted to know how you guys experience that. You know, do you guys have those moments of care, and do you guys have those moments of empathy? Do you guys have those moments of softness? Because all the time we talk about, you know, black women being strong, right? And I think we should transfer the narrative more to the strength being the care and the empathy in our moments of weakness, because that's what we need. I feel like strength is being able to lift up whatever you need to be lifted, and my spirits need to be lifted.
Yeah.
So hearing you guys say that, I really enjoy hearing you guys say that your woman express grace, your woman express empathy and care and handling you in a delicate way. I think that's more important than, you know, she can handle this household and she can do these things. You know, the fact that she's able to maneuver in the spaces that she's needed for you guys is extremely important, you know, and that is something that I appreciate. Not only do I appreciate that in my woman, I appreciate that in y'all's women for y'all as well.
Oh, you love that for us.
I love that for y'all.
I love it. I like saying that. I like saying that now. I love that for me.
I love that for me.
I love that for me.
I love that for you.
I love that for y'all.
Your girl must say that a lot.
Now my girl, you know, my girl be like, the girls is saying.
The girls are
The
saying.
girls are saying. The girl is saying. I love that for us.
I love it.
The girlies are saying, I'm like, for sure. But nah, bro, It's so interesting, bro. It's so interesting. I look back on, I just take a look at my woman, bro. And I was just telling her this yesterday. I feel like our communication, bro, is off the charts. In the sense that I could really come to her and express what I do not like about what she's doing. And she's able to digest it. And we can have a productive conversation about that. All right. And I really appreciate that because I listen to horror stories from guys. And they talk about their women. They talk about their women doesn't listen to them. They can't tell their women nothing. Their women doesn't submit. All these things, all right? And I'm like, yo, I don't have that problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that problem. And I'm super grateful.
What does that mean? The submit part.
Okay.
What does that mean?
To who?
When you say guys
To
tell
me
me
or
horror
to
stories.
guys, right?
Well, when you say guys tell me horror stories and they say, their women don't submit.
Yeah, I think there's an idea that men have about how women are supposed to allow them to lead. Right? We talked about submission before, you know what I'm saying? And I think that what we were talking about off camera is that a lot of men are trying to assume that position of leadership by default just because they're men, right? I don't give anybody anything just because you're a man or you're a woman, right? I feel like when you come into a relationship or you're dealing with somebody, there's things you have to do to constitute leadership, right? Now, I'm not saying, there are fundamental things that you want women to do, right? But at the same time, most men that are handling their business never going to have to ask for submission or complain about submission. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just a fact.
I want to, I agree. I want to ask you a question about what you were referring to with you and Chanel. Are you in a space now where you could say those things, what you dislike, without a buffer, or do you still need a buffer? And when I say buffer, what I mean is like, do you need to come in and like express what you do like first?
There's always a buffer,
right? I
always have
because you said you get to come in now and express what you don't
etiquette.
like. The way you said that, it made it seem like
correct.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, but communication is understanding etiquette.
Okay.
It's not just saying what you want. You feel me? Like, I can tell you right now, hey, yo, we talked about this, bro. If I don't like something you do as my brother, I'm going to say, hey, yo, oh, that shit really hurt me.
Yep.
I'm not going to say, hey, oh, that was some bitch shit.
Yep.
It can mean the same thing, though.
Yep.
Right? But I'm communicating it differently because I care about you and because there's an etiquette there.
But I'm not saying are you choosing your words carefully? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, are you coming in with the bad news? Because that's what it is.
Well,
right?
Sometimes.
Well, we're talking about something that you said that you dislike.
Correct. So sometimes it's just like, hey, babe, look, like this happened. I didn't like it. Sometimes it's not always, hey, yo, I love when you do this, but let me give you the bad news. Yep. Nah, sometimes it's not like that. And I think we've graduated to that place. And I love that for our relationship, right? Because it creates an environment that's conducive for communication and problem solving, right? So if she has a problem with me, I'm mature enough to like disassemble my ego for her to just give that to me, right? And receive that, because I'm like, yo, this is a person I'm supposed to be with and I'm working to be with for the rest of my life. So if she has a problem with something, I have to be able to receive that for her. So in the same token, I need to be able to give her that as well, because she's in a relationship with me and my feelings matter, right? And how like I'm living matters. So then, it's just how it has to be, bro. And I think that for us, man, I'm really appreciative of where she is right now as a person. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't always like that, right? And from where we are now to where she was when we first got together, there's just been so much growth in just her character, just her, softness, and allowing herself to just see me as her partner and not someone who's playing a game against her. You get what I'm saying? And also she now just trusts that like, hey, yo, everything I tell you is in the benefit of us and not just me.
So I want to ask you, you said it's so much development in her character, it's so much development in her softness, right? She came into the relationship how she came into the relationship. You came into the relationship how you came into the relationship. The only other caveat in that is whatever your impression was on her that helped develop her character and helped develop her softness. What attributes did you bring to the relationship that continue to help her character develop and continue to help her softness develop?
I think that I just created a space that reassured her that, you know, we can have these conversations and move forward from it, you know? And I think I led by example, right? So a lot of things that are traditionally like, just, hey, yo, don't tell her. I would be like, yo, nah, I want to tell you right now. I want to tell you because my whole goal was the way I look at this woman, right? The way I want my life to be and the way I think our life should be is I have to set an example that she can follow for this to work, right? And I'm older than her. I'm a little more experienced, and I felt like I was a little bit more emotionally mature. So I felt like if anyone was going to steer this relationship in that direction, it was going to come from me. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of differences, right? We were raised different places, different types of family. You know, I was raised in a big ass family, right? My family's been there, a lot of cousins, both my parents, brothers. So it was a difference, right? So I felt like me growing up, there was just certain things that I wanted to implement in our relationship that I trusted could be beneficial to us. You know what I'm saying? I tried to just lead from it by example from the get-go. And at first, you know, you can't just ask a woman to trust everything you're doing because you don't have no track record.
Yep.
Right? But after a while, after I kept proving to her that, hey, yo, I know what I'm doing. Trust me, this is right for us. She started coming along. Right? And then now we're here.
Yeah. Well, Jalon, I mean, you've asked us, so, you know, I think it's only right that we ask you, you know, how does your woman make you feel appreciated?
I think I really learned my love language. I never really knew what my love language was. I fully understand that words of affirmation are extremely important to me. Extremely important to me. And she makes sure that I receive those all the time. Whether it's when we first wake up in the morning, whether it's going to bed at night, you know, throughout the course of the day, acknowledging my hard work, acknowledging what I do specifically for our home. She makes me feel extremely appreciated. And truth be told, by her making me feel like that, I want to go out and get it even more. So I know we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago that, you know, kind of had people in a frenzy. And one of the things that came from that was, you know, married men earn more wages, right? And she gives me the feeling of understanding how that is a fact. I know that that is a fact because the way she makes me feel. There's days that I could take off by myself, but she sets like an unspoken space of accountability for me just by existing, you know, and then in that accountability, giving me those words of affirmation afterwards to make me want to just go get it more. So, you know, in that, you know, it's kind of created like a super healthy balance. So when she gives me the space to be able to go work and do what I need to do, now it's like, yo, let's really spend this time together. She actually helped teach me what like real intentionality is. A date for me before was as long as we together and we spending time, like it's a date. So whether that was y'all was around, other people was around, it's like it's a date. We could, you know, my sister here, like it's cool, it's a date. We spending time together. But real intentional time with your partner is time that you set aside for just y'all two.
Nobody else.
Nobody else. You guys can really, really interact. You guys can really learn from each other. I sent you guys a post the other day, and it was talking about having new experiences with your partner and why new experiences with your partner is so important. But you get to learn your partner in so many more different spaces. You know, we had episodes that we did. It probably was in season 1 when we were doing during the podcast. And we were talking about the intangibles in women. And, you know, as I'm hearing you guys speak, I know that none of these things y'all talking about were ever on your list of women.
No.
Like, man, I want to see my woman, you know, when I'm down, she could pull me out of that space. I'm sure that was never on your list. And the way she really, really makes me feel special to where I have to give her gratitude and her praise is she's all the intangibles, like everything I never really even thought of. I never even could imagine, you know, to even have a woman that has the ability to problem solve as well, you know, in the spaces that I may not be as good at, you know, and have the strength to get through obstacles, you know, and pull us through. You know, like that was something I didn't even really know. Like that wasn't even really on the list of things, you know. So being able to speak life into me is, you know, it shows me like, you know what, she really cares. Cause I don't think you could speak life into too many people you don't care about. Like I don't really think that's the thing. I'm not that naive, you know. So it's super, super dope to be able to see what the intangibles are that we talked about years ago.
Hey, so as men, we kind of naturally try to assume that if we're in a relationship, that we're doing what we need to be doing and our women are trusting our leadership. But have you actually verbally asked your woman, yo, do you trust me as a leader?
Hey guys, I want you guys to know Duke is really slick for this question. I'm gonna tell you guys, this is a really good question. You know why it's a valid question,
right?
This is a good question because me and Duke have talked about this before. And when we talked about it, I don't know if you reflected as much as I have because you might have already went through it, but I really reflected and it was just like, you know what? I was in a space of assumption. You know, and I was getting the feedback from a person who trusted my leadership and who was following in my leadership, but I've never asked.
I've never asked that question, but I've asked.
But I asked.
Oh, you asked?
I asked.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went back and
asked.
asked. I don't let these conversations that we have go in vain. Hey, look, if you guys aren't taking notes when we having these podcasts.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
We're all we do in life is try to learn. That's all we do in life is try to learn. So whether it's actually sitting on the couch with you guys or you guys are sitting in the chair or we sitting on the couch at the crib, I'm learning. I'm taking it in and I'm processing and I'm learning. So when Duke said that, I said, that's a good ass question, bro. I said, you know what? I'm going to ask her. I'm going to ask her because I can't do life with somebody walking around assuming. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to me. So I asked her and she said, yeah. And she's like, why? Why'd you ask me that? And I was like, well, I don't want to assume that you trust my leadership. I want to understand if you do and if you don't and to what level that you trust it. So I was like, yeah, I do trust it. I do trust your leadership. Okay. Well, what level do you trust my leadership to? And she literally just told me like, yo, I moved to California for you. Oh, I could see it, but it's different when you hear it from your partner. It's totally different.
Yeah. I've never asked that specific question, but I have asked this specific one. How am I doing? And like, that's kind of vague, right?
That's a good question though.
But I've asked that, yo, baby, how am I doing? Like in this relationship, like with you, with us, how am I doing? So, but that is a great question, and it's something that I do want to ask as well.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But even asking like, how am I doing, is a great way to check in.
That's a great check-in.
It's a great check-in.
Yeah,
it's a great check-in. I promise that. I promise it's a great one.
Yeah, so like with asking specific questions, like, hey, yo, do you trust my leadership, right? It kind of gives her the green light to be a little bit more honest, you know, and give you a little bit more accurate feedback that you could do something with, right? Because if you just assume, you're not necessarily getting accurate feedback, even if, you know, her actions may be consistent with someone who's kind of following your lead, but you really want to, like, I believe this. words and actions. That's what I believe, together. That's what I believe. And I believe I need to see both. I don't like trying to decipher things without words, and I don't like trying to look at actions only. Words and actions. So me asking you, yo, do you trust my leadership? Is basically me prompting you to say, yo, like, I feel like you trust my leadership because we're good, but you need to confirm it too, just in case. You know what I'm saying? And I think that right there gives you a whole different perspective when you're dealing with your woman, man. But we could really do this shit all day, man. But check this out though. I just want to switch gears real quick. We're gonna get right back on topic.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, this ain't nothing too heavy. It ain't like the last one.
The
last one. It wasn't like the last one.
Yeah,
Nah.
you know, Duke, he did
ain't too
pause. He paused.
It should get deep.
Yeah.
Because it's another thing to think about, right? So we gonna kind of switch it around. All right. So look, your woman, she's like, hey, yo, I'm gonna leave you. All right.
Like for good?
She said, I'm gonna leave you. All right. Unless you can tell me what value you provide to my life. All right. You cannot talk about money. You can't talk about money, but you need to tell me what value you provide to my life and what do you do for me? What would you say?
Structure, consistency, upliftment, encouragement.
Those are just inspiring words though.
What value?
What I'm saying, structure, consistency, like those are just words. How do you provide structure for me? For me as a woman, right? I'm your woman. Structure, okay, what does that mean? Consistency, what do you mean? Like how are you providing consistency?
Well, just like you just said, I'm gonna follow that up with an action too. So I'm gonna give you the word and I'm gonna show you. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna implement structure by showing you how I implement structure in my life because I've had success doing it. Mm. And I think that anyone that has structure has success. I think anyone that is consistent will be successful. Mm. And I think that is added value. Also, perspective. I think having someone to show you a new perspective is added value.
Hey, keep in mind, this life or death though. This life or death. I'm gonna leave you if you don't convince me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Structure, perspective, consistency.
Discipline.
For
sure.
Discipline. And you could leave, but I promise you ain't gonna find another one more disciplined, more consistent. And I'm willing to,
You could bang on that one, huh?
I could bang on that one. Happiness. I think there's a tremendous value on happiness, or maybe an undervalue on happiness that people tend to overlook. And I think I add that. Vice versa.
I'll let you go, and then I'll kind of explain why I asked that.
The way that Brittany now loves herself is on a whole nother level. A way that she didn't even know she could love herself to this level. There is I'm a very faith-based person. So I don't believe nothing is possible without God. So just really showing how to really, really nurture that relationship between you and God is going to make you a better person. So the way she loves herself, and then not only the way she loves herself, the way that it creates perspective for her in life all the way around. So the way she loves herself is the nucleus. If you're going to be, as my woman, I need to make sure that you love yourself so you can really pour out and people really be able to see it. That's the only way you're going to really, really be able to showcase the real change. And like our relationship is great, but your relationship with God is going to be everything for us, for you and your mom, for you and your siblings, for you and your cousins, friends, colleagues, coworkers, all of those things. So being able to show her how to get closer to the source has been the most fundamentally important thing. And then, we could talk about the discipline and we could talk about all of those things, but just the level of spirituality and just showing that has been life-changing, And when I say that, people might be like, still like, what does that mean, right? Someone who may be quick to anger may not be as quick to anger. Someone who may think in black and white can think in the gray space, which is the grace space. So rather than thinking people are more bad than good or more good than bad, you can actually reason a little bit more because you got more empathy. You create more care because we as humans, like, bro, we don't come that way. Like the only way we can truly, truly be empathetic is by having God in our life. Like that's the only way we can truly, truly, really like grasp on, man, I don't agree with what you're talking about, but like you as a human, like I care about you. That has been something that is not only, I don't want to just make it seem like I gave her this gift,
Right.
but it's been something that's a part of who I am. Right. This is a part of what our relationship is now built on. And that is what's helping her flourish. I don't want to give anybody anything that they can't take when if she decided to leave me. I wouldn't want to give her anything that she can't take. I don't want to give anybody any physical things that, like that's the most important thing that I gave them. Like, nah. Like it's always gonna be like, yo, Jalon was the best person I ever dealt with. That's where it's at, and that is the cheat code.
What's your argument going to be? 3, 2, 1, go.
I think that you're a better person with me than without me, right? You've learned how to become more disciplined in your business. You've learned how to...
I'm about to walk out the door, dude.
Yeah, I love that. You've learned how to be able to communicate. You've learned how to not look at men as an enemy, right? I provide a sense of stability in your life. I provide a sense of guidance and leadership, and I provide a sense of peace for you, right? You grew up in Brooklyn, New York. You spent your life, right, in tough neighborhoods, right? And I think that with me, you get to relax and be a little softer, right? You get to come to a place and call me home.
Okay, I'm sitting down.
I think you are, I feel like the love you have in this relationship with me is the love you dreamed about. And I think that as we get older and as we progress, it's only going to get stronger, right? And I think that with me, you have someone who's going to just care for you no matter what. And I've helped you learn how to communicate your needs and your wants and overcome self-limiting beliefs. And I instill confidence in you. And I think there's longevity in this. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask both of you guys. Let me ask you this first. You guys have praying women?
Man, I was actually going to touch on that.
You have a praying woman?
Yeah.
You have a praying woman?
Very much praying woman.
Are you guys the men that your women prayed for?
I am. I'm confident in that. I am. And that's not an assumption. That's an ask.
I am.
That's an ask.
That's an ask. That's not an assumption.
I'm gonna stand on that.
That's an ask.
I'm gonna stand on that right there.
I'm not assuming. I know that from the horse's mouth. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, no, but no. The reason I asked you guys that because sometimes we get away from our value, and we just internalize our value. And I think it's important, man or women, to understand, how do I make this, my true essence and my true value, right? And once we understand that, we can be the best partner possible. It's not an arrogant thing or a cocky thing. It's just like, I understand what I do for this person. I understand what I do for this woman. So I'm confident enough to ask this woman, hey, yo, here's the things I do for you. Here's what I expect from you. You know what I'm saying?
So God, we brothers, right? Did any one of us say anything that surprised anyone?
No, this is what we know.
Is this what you expected?
Absolutely.
From each one of us, this is what you expected? Same.
Yeah, nah.
Same.
I want to touch on the prayer though.
Yeah.
Because that's another reason how I know like I'm appreciated by my woman. And you know, speaking, my woman is a praying woman, right? But that's not to say that she grew up in a church. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? She didn't grow up extremely religious or spiritual, I don't think. You know, I think I would like to say that, you know, over the course of our relationship, I've helped her, you know, grow a deeper and stronger relationship with God and deeper her spirituality. In doing so, in those moments when I do feel discouraged, what make me so happy is her coming to me and saying, "Hey, let's just pray about it." Like, and it'd be like, I'd be like, "Yo, you know what? Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. Hey, let's do that. Let's do that." Actually, just changing my whole perspective on things. Let's go do that. Let's go do that. We pray, and for some reason, not for some reason, we know the reason, but I'm instantly, you know what I mean, brought back down to ground zero and can kind of see clearly, you know what I mean? It's still, you know what I mean? I haven't fixed the situation, but at least I have a clear head and how I want to move forward with the situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that is such a huge thing for me. It's not, and again, going back to what you said earlier in the conversation, that wasn't on my list. Mm-hmm. That's an intangible thing. You know what I mean? That's something I wouldn't even thought about to put on the list. Yeah. Yo, when I'm discouraged, when I'm feeling down, when things are bad, or when I think they're bad, you know, could you come and can we pray together? You know, I think that right there is second to none. It's something that I truly value and seriously appreciate.
You ever prayed with somebody before?
Of course.
Like, did you ever pray with another woman before this relationship?
Is that a you thing or it's a relationship thing?
What you mean?
Right, you're gonna pray because you pray. That's your thing, right?
Yeah, but pray together.
Yeah, pray together.
Nah. This is new.
Okay,
this is new. But in other relationships, I do believe that woman prayed for me, but to say that we actually prayed together, nah, it's different. No.
Yo, so if Brittany and Candace were sitting here right now, and they were just listening to y'all, right? How would what kind of shift would happen? You know what I'm saying? How would it make them feel? What would be the impact, the immediate impact in them listening to what you guys are saying?
She'd be holding me.
Yeah.
It would loosen her entire body language and make her fall into me. And you touched on providing softness. Well, providing a space for your woman to be soft, providing a space for your woman to just be more open. And it seems like every time I express myself and how I truly feel about her, even in the midst of it, we may not even be in the best space. That seems like when it really, really breaks. Mm-hmm. When it really, really breaks that wall of tension is when it's just like, yo, I love you. I care about you. I love us. This is why I'm saying this, so we can get to this place. Mm-hmm. That right there has always, I know you asked a very specific question, but that just made me think about the times in relationship to where it's like, yo, like, how do we break this tension? One thing for her that she even expressed to me, she's very good with using her words and what she wants. She'll lay out the blueprint. Hey, yo, this is what I need, right? She's big on affection, even when she seemingly doesn't want to receive it. So it's like if she's walking around the house mad, she wants me to come up behind her and hold her and kiss her. And she wants those things because that is a reminder of like, hey, look, no matter where we at, you love me. Like no matter where we at, you care. And it's not her pushing me off. She may have an attitude, maybe a little stank, but it's like, okay, he wants me. And those moments I can see the next time we might be in a little space like that, she's softer in that moment. And the guard goes a little bit lower and a little bit lower and a little bit lower. And I feel like as men, we just assume this is how you're supposed to be. This is what I want it to look like. And when it's not this, I'm going to act like this. Man, that thing when like leadership is not convenient, bro. You need to show her how to act when you guys are in a bad space by leading. Yo, I know we're in a bad space, but I love you, babe. Hold her, give her a kiss. You know, you want some food. You know, the food is a good thing too. You want some food. You know, show her that you care. Try to pour into her even when she's mad. Yeah. And you know, that has helped. That's helped a lot. Yeah. So if she was sitting right here, she would definitely be holding me, laying on me, kissing me.
On me.
Yeah.
Grinding on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whispering in my ear stuff that y'all can't hear or this mic can't, you know.
playing on my
Yeah.
neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, you right, brother? You know what I'm saying? Hey, though, before I forget, what are 3 things, though, that your girl was doing when you guys first started dating and became the things that kind of propelled your relationship to this point, right? And that she still does now? Like, what's the secret ingredient?
Jelon, you got that?
3 things.
We can
Let's
start with one.
You just give one.
We can start with one.
Okay. I don't know. One thing she's always done is the growth. Like coming off of something, I could see the instant shift, the change in her, the willingness to progress. It's so interesting. You may be in a situation and she could fight it, but then you guys get in that situation and you be like, you heard me. I didn't even think you really heard me the way you fought that. The growth is super, super important as a big thing. Something small that she's done is she's always appreciated intentional time. You know, and always made it very, very clear on what intentional time looks like for her. I feel like it's easy for women to come to the table with what they want, but they don't know how to get there. You know, they don't know the formula. So it's like, yo, I want to spend more time. Like, well, what does that look like? And it's like, I don't know, figure it out. She's never hit me with that. It's like, yo, I want to spend more time. It's like, what does that look like? And it's like, yo, one-on-one time for us, whether it's us going on a hike, you know, whether it's you bringing me flowers, whether it's us sitting down watching a show, we talking about it, dinner, you know, those things, like she'll break it down. Like, this is what I want to see. So it's like, if you're not doing it, now it eliminates the space of I didn't know, to where it's like more of a, you kind of chose not to do that now. So it takes away the pressure off of her not getting what she wants. And then it puts the pressure on me to be like, yo, she told you exactly what she want, bro. And if you're not doing it, it's because you choosing not to. So she's always been really good at that.
Yeah, I would say Candace's one thing that she's always done that's really helped us get to where we're at today is she's very adamant on if a situation comes up, we have a conflict or a disagreement, you know what I mean, about a specific particular situation. The next day, she's always adamant on, yo, literally eye-to-eye contact. Are we gonna have a good day today? You know what I mean? Like, basically being able to like you put it behind us so we can move on.
I ain't trying to have a good day.
Are you trying to have a good day today?
That's funny.
You know what I mean? And
No.
I could appreciate, because who's gonna say no?
Yup. Who's gonna say no?
Who's gonna say no?
That's a fact.
Regardless of what happened last night, I don't want to continue. I want us to get back to where we at,
That's a
where we're
fact.
supposed to be, you know. And I could love and appreciate that about her.
Yeah.
Because it's always myself. I'm stubborn sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's helped us tremendously in our relationship.
Wow. Who's gonna say no to that?
What about you?
That's real.
What's
Ooh.
something that Chanel's done at the beginning of your relationship that she maintains today that continues to push you guys forward?
I think she's always been willing to help, from moving to, you know, packing to like, hey, nah, you pay for the flights. Let me get the car to the, you know, the hotel. That, like, everything. Like, I feel like I have a partner because there's nothing that she will let me do by myself alone, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So she's super aware of the fact that, yo, man, it's hard for men. She's aware of that. You know, it's probably hard for my guy. You know, she's aware of that. So, like, you know, I mean, maybe, you know, this may not do nothing, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's just me inserting myself and saying, yo, I'm gonna help wherever I can. You know? So she's been like that since day one, bro. And it doesn't matter what it is. I never feel like I'm in this shit myself. You know? I never feel like, I never have the feeling of like, man, I gotta do this all myself. I never feel like that, right? And it's because she's just always willing, she's just always there, you know? And I think that she just cares for me a lot. and she loves me a lot, and she's always like, she never just wants me to like take on that burden of everything, you know. And I think that it's been like that since day one when we started dating, to now, you know. And the other thing is just the communication again, man. When we started dating to now, it's always been, yo, if there's an issue, we know how to talk it out. And those conversations ain't always been pleasant.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But we've always been able to have them and move forward. You know, and now today the conversations are super, we have a conversation, we may bicker for a day, get over it, right? Where, you know, we started like crunching those numbers down and crunching that time down over the time. So maybe it's like we'll be for like 4 or 5 days, a week, and 3 days.
That's real.
24 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
The moment.
The moment.
Yeah.
So then then it's nothing, you know. And I think that, you know, I'm just really grateful for that part of her. And I think that she's been able to just kind of grow with me and develop me in that regard. And it's a big reason, you know, just her allowing herself to become that woman is why we're here. Yeah. But
that's a good way to end it.
That's a great way to end it. So I hope you guys like took a lot of game and value from that, man. I think that was the episode was much needed. You know, I think that episode, and for me right now, I feel like a lot is off my chest. You know, I walk around feeling grateful all the time, but it's just good to get it out there and us have this conversation on this platform. And you know, by the time our girls see this, it's gonna be, you know, we're gonna be up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be up. We're gonna be up for a couple of days. But yeah, man, please let us know what you thought about the episode. If you are listening to this on your way to work right now, you know, don't do anything. Just keep driving. Don't do nothing. Just keep driving. But if you're watching this right now on YouTube or something, man, just screenshot. Just take a picture, tag us in the story, send it to a friend, all that stuff. Make sure you're following us on all social platforms. Follow myself at Duke, Jalon at just.Jalon, Omar at Omar.Bowden. Follow us at Nice and Neat the Podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Hit the website, everything. All right. So much love, much gratitude, man. Again, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. Until next time, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon. This is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat, and that's that on that. Peace.
Take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand.